I use graphite in every drawing I make, taking it for granted every time I use it. We've all been using a pencil since pre-K. All school supply lists have the most famous pencil of all. Can you guess? Yes, the number 2H yellow pencil. You remember this? In high school years back, the only pencil allowed for tests. The answer sheet had bubbles, and we had to fill them with this pencil. Then they would take them to a machine and get the results. The infamous SAT. We now have an array of pencils from very cheap to very expensive. But have you ever wondered what's actually inside this pencil? Or thought about how this simple pencil is made? So today, let's find out. We call this lead, but it isn't lead. This center is primarily made of graphite and clay, not the metal lead we associate with the word. The amount of clay changes how hard or soft a pencil is. The more clay, H. More graphite, softer, darker pencil, a B. Half clay, half graphite, HB. With these different ranges, H, B, HB, pencils come in an array of grades, from very hard, 8H, to extremely soft, HB, HB being in the midway range. So let me show you what I mean with all this. Last year, my husband and I took a trip to Germany. We visited the small town of Stein near Nuremberg. The Faber Castell Factory is in Stein, Germany, and we took the tour of how pencils are made. Of course, no cameras, no photos, but we got to see how pencils are made from beginning to end. At the end of the tour, everyone got a little gift. This pencil. It is a really nice pencil. It comes with a cap. Why? Because it carries a sharpener inside the cap. The other end has the eraser, which does not leave a mark when you erase on the paper. So let me summarize as best I can from what I saw at the factory on the process of how pencils are made. So graphite and clay are mixed with water and processed into a smooth mixture. The mixture is then pushed through a machine to create long, thin strands, almost like making spaghetti. Basically, they're making graphite spaghetti. The cores are dried and then fired in a kiln at very high temperatures, making them strong enough to survive all the drawing you put them through. Fired cores are then soaked in hot wax for smooth, scratch-free writing. Grooves are cut into pieces of cedar wood. The graphite cores are placed inside. Another piece of wood is glued on top, and then the whole thing is cut into individual pencils. The pencils get the familiar paint markings for rule and eraser. And finally, the artist gets it. This little pencil has been through quite an adventure before it got into my hands. It's funny how something so simple can go through so many steps before it becomes something that can create art. Maybe we're a little like that too. Sometimes the process is messy, sometimes we're shaped by pressure and heat, but eventually something beautiful can come from it. If you have the opportunity to travel to Germany, make plans to see this factory. The main Faber Castell Factory and historic production site is located in Stein, Germany, near Nuremberg. You do need to get tickets well in advance. Tours are mostly in German.